So, welcome everyone, and thank you for joining us in this really nice, beautiful summer day for our OD Tools webinar, which our topic today is, I think, really interesting. It's about employee well-being and how can employee well-being become a strategic advantage by using OD Tools Health Meets Work tool. My name is Ildikó Csősz, and I'm head of business at Valoro Consulting in Hungary. We are one of the partners of OD Tools, and it's really a pleasure to be hosting this session on this really interesting topic. And our agenda is that Gábor is going to talk a little bit about OD Tools, and then we are going to dive into the topic with the help of Petra. And then over to you, Gábor. I would like to hand things over to you.
Okay, so now officially, welcome everybody to this webinar on Health Meets Work. And a few words about OD Tools. We are developers of psychometric tests and assessments, and we also produce surveys, engagement surveys, and some very specialized survey like the Health Meets Work that we are going to talk about today, and also have 360 feedback and coaching tools, and we provide user training and support, and some community events like this one. A few words about our network. So I'm talking from Berlin. This is our headquarters, and we have partners who provide localized services, localizations in many countries. We operate globally, so we have clients in other countries as well. But in these countries where you see these dots, we have partners who provide extra services. So in the UK and then in the DACH region, and that is VFMO Ltd. And the founder and general manager Petra will be the main speaker today. And we have also partners in Italy, in Hungary, in Turkey, in the United Arab Emirates, in Kenya, in South Africa, in India, and many regions in Asia. I'd like to introduce officially now our speaker today, Petra, who has been a user and partner of OD Tools for more than 10 years, I would say,
Yes,
for many
2000,
years.
2008.
Wow. So we can celebrate the 20th anniversary soon. So Petra Thunder is an organizational developer, change manager, and managing director of VFMO Ltd. For more than 20 years, she has been helping organizations not only plan for change, but also effectively embed it into their day-to-day work. As an economist with a master's degree in business psychology, she combines economic requirements with the question of under what conditions people can work in a healthy, engaged, and productive manner. In today's webinar, she will demonstrate how Health Meets Work not only highlights stressors, but also provides concrete starting points for organizational development, from a thorough diagnosis and the prioritization of measures to measurable KPIs and the evaluation of their effectiveness. And before I give it over, I'd like to say a few extra words about Petra, because in Germany, she's one of the thought leaders when it comes to health in organizations, health in the workplace. Her articles appear in leading HR magazines and journals. And Health Meets Work, even though we say we are co-authors, but actually it is really the brainchild of Petra. And the history is that we have an organizational effectiveness assessment survey, ODMAP, that Petra was using for a while. And she contacted me with an idea that she wants to expand this to include also health aspects. At the beginning, I said, Petra, we have the customized questions option. You can realize this through those customized questions. But she told me, Gabor, it's a little bit more than that. And after she explained to me, I recognized that indeed And this deserves a specific tool. And actually, this is a very unique and very important product. Petra today will share the underlying thinking of this product and also some specific cases. So please welcome.
Thank you very much, Gabor, for this nice introducing. Okay, let's start. Today I will show how Healthmeets work makes visible how working conditions influence well-being and organizational effectiveness. The working time debate will come later as a practical example and 3 cases. I will explain at first how Healthmeets works. Here you see the agenda and what makes Healthmeets work different. The focus is not on individual symptoms. We don't look for illnesses, but on the interaction between psychosocial risk factors, resources, and organizational conditions. This webinar has 3 goals: to explain Healthmeets work, to show the strategic value, and to share concrete improvement examples. The key is not symptom hunting, but identifying systemic levers. Yeah, and at first I looked to scientific business cases, and we see here a meta-analysis and with many employees, and we see that the customer loyalty, the productivity, and the profitability is better if there is well-being. And the evidence of impact you see on the right side. Yes, please take time to read it. So well-being is not a soft bonus. Large studies show measurable relationships with productivity, profitability, customer loyalty, and turnover. Experimental studies provide evidence of impact. That is why we do not simply measure mood, we measure working conditions. Well-being becomes strategic when we know which conditions create risks, strengthen resources, and influence KPIs. There is Healthmeets work logic. Yeah, we look for the working conditions, we are looking for the well-being, and we are looking for behavior and performance. And sure, we are able to look for different KPIs. So we have the health, physical and psychosocial stressors as well as health status. We have the engagement, the joy at work, retention, trust, and cooperation. We have the organization by itself, the leadership, the processes, the clarity, development, and quality. And sure, there is a big need, the occupational safety, the assessment of working conditions regarding psychosocial risks. Yeah, and this is why the result is not nice to have. It become a priority list for organizational development. So, and Healthmeets work goes beyond classic engagement surveys. It adds health and risk factors, performance improvement needs, benchmarks, incidents, and possible correlations. You see here employee engagement, and it's correlated to trust and leadership, talent management, leadership effectiveness, collaboration and teams, management excellence, and the job itself. And then that's why we have to, as Gabor explained before, we have to make the survey a little bit bigger and deeper. We add items to physical health, physical strain factors, mental health, and physical stress factors. And all not because we know what to do, because there is DIN ISO, an international certification or qualification. It's 1075, 123, and it's aligned to that. We're looking to the process. The process has 6 steps: design, survey, analyze anonymously, prioritize, explore further, and check impact. The key point is the quality of the later insight starts in the design phase. Yeah, we have multi-purpose as occupational safety engagement, organizational effectiveness, and employee satisfaction. Here you see some categories. Yeah. What is not set up as a category cannot be compared cleanly later. So categories are not just technical filters, they are part of the decision design. What is not defined at the begin cannot be analyzed properly later. And so design before data. The reporting units determine which patterns Health Meets Work can make visible later. And that's why when we start a project, that's normally we have a bigger workshop with the responsible person on the company to really be clear how many categories we need, what we like to measure. And once I remember we had like 20 categories. Yes, it was big, but it was a great result after, and they can work long time with it, with us and without us. Yeah, participation. The invitation can be personalized. For example, via an individual link or code. This increases commitment and prevents forwarding, because remember, we designed before, and if somebody forwards his link to the leader, then the wrong person will answer, and it's just working once. Yes, the code. Then the analysis is individual answers remain hidden. Nobody know, even I can't see, but reports show aggregated results only. And then we have the possibility to create groups from 3 to 10 people who are answering, not then in the group, people who are answering. So is the group too small, result is suppressed. And correlations, they are meaningful from at least 20 responses. Under 20 responses, we don't have the correlation sign in the report. Then we have the engagement, organizational index, and the health factor index. We have also satisfaction index, but these both are more important because we can be satisfied, but we can be lazy. But when we're engaged, yes, we are in, and we work more proactive. So here we have the summarized view of engagement and health promoting working conditions for the organization, and it's also possible for defined groups. And what we have, the performance improvement needs. The report also shows performance improvement needs and benchmarks, making clear where deeper analysis and action are most worthwhile. Health Meets Work can be translated into manageable KPIs. We have here different. The important part is linking Health Meets Work KPIs, implementation KPIs, and existing business metrics. So we see here the Health Meets Work KPIs, the implementation KPIs, and the business KPIs, and it's just a sample. You can add whatever is needed to see how the results are correlating with the maybe we did it once with the illness factor. Many people are ill, and in departments where the process are not good, where the leading is not good, where not a friendly way to talk to each other, then we figured out there was a high correlation to the illness factor. And you will find many surveys where we see red bars, and red bars, we have to do something, yes, but we didn't know what is behind the red bar. A red bar is just a symptom. Here's the example: our work is well organized. what we have to look for is which drivers, which items are specially linked to health and engagement. And the correlations we have create focus instead of lottery of actions. And then the root cause, what is behind this locally? So what we always need are minimum short workshops, priorities, then actions and responsibilities. Yeah. At first measure, second understand, then change, and then sure measure again. So now we have one case here, and there it was a manufacturing company. The rooms and benefits were excellent, yes, but turnover and dissatisfaction were high. The liver was structured people development, leadership, coaching, and a culture of shared responsibility. So they weren't aware that all these nice things make the people happy. If it's like you go to the doctor and the doctor give you a pill for the symptom. Yes. So they had water free, they had coffee free. It was the canteen was hotel on a hotel level, but the processes were awful. Yes. And so we worked together for a long time, from resource egoism to shared responsibility. So here is a small organization, a small service company. Unclear roles and processes quickly became a source of frustration. Clear workflows, responsibilities, and better solutions strengthened motivation and revealed the owner. Yes, and here we worked also with MQ, not only with Healthmeets Work. And it was very clear what we have to do, and it's really good for this survey. Nobody should do this survey if he just needs something to do, so there's a hook on something, yes? Then we have the healthcare organization. Processes were good, but they were experienced as control. The change process focused on more agile ways of working, principles instead of rule overload, and more autonomy. Here, the core lever is quality needs principles, not only rules. They were overruled. And they found a good way to work in another manner. I want to show you something here, and we have in Germany, maybe in other country too. The German wording time debate is legitimate, but often too rough. Ours are input. The key question is under which conditions a sustainable performance emerges. Yeah. The business question is therefore not only how long, but under what conditions does sustainable performance energy? And there we will look and find out also a result for Healthmeets Work. The wrong question is, how do we get people to work more, work harder? Yeah. The better question is, how do we design work so people stay healthy, engaged, and effective? Yes. If we have to work more and the motivation is less, then it just throw money for nothing. So we have two organizations, both over 1,000 employees per organization, and they show relationships, but they do not prove causality. That means that we see a correlation, but maybe it's not the only one who makes the people dissatisfied. And we will look at, in both organizations, the health factor index rises clearly with lower working time volume. This does not automatically mean part-time work creates health, yes, but it is a strong signal against simple more hours logic, yes. And I can explain that was the healthcare organizations, and there are many part-time people. The part-time people, if you have 3 hours, 3 days off, yeah, instead only of 2 or 4 days, then the people are relaxed, and then if the processes are not good, if the relationship is not good, say, okay, I can relax, I just have some days. The people who work 5 days and then the weekend, they don't have time to calm down when they have a day off. And that's why there is really logic that we have to do something for the working conditions before we tell people, please work more. And the clean interpretation is important. Part-time work itself is not the solution. The fit of working time and the quality of work design matter. Yeah. And there is leadership or organization are at least equality relevant levers. And when this is working, the people, I know this from projects as a change manager, the people come and say, I can work more, no problem for me. And before it was, yeah, I don't like. So mental health, as the strongest relationship with mental health are leadership, feedback, communication, and processes. Working time is part of the system, but not the only lever. And that's very important to know. It's a sign that there's something wrong. Yeah. And we see it with our possibility to create correlations, the correlation coefficient. And here you see, if you have unclear goals, poor processes, missing feedback, unsuitable working time, too little recovery, avoidable strain. And then you have exhaustion, errors in rework, less engagement, absence, and turnover. Problems in organizational effectiveness are stressors that work against well-being. Working time acts as an amplifier in a poor system. More hours increases fatigue and errors. In a good system, suitable work time supports focus and recovery. How it can work, and with Healthmeets Work, we are able to measure all these things, and that's great. So then we will look to the next sheet and see there an example from 0 to 90 days. Implementation does not have the start huge. In 90 days, normally, you can clarify the mandate, run the survey, prioritize, and start 2 or 3 actions with owners and metrics. Important is do not start 10 actions, implement 2 or 3 levers consistently and check their impact. And that's also before you start the survey and after the survey, that the people talk together and tell, okay, what has the biggest impact? And the great thing on Healthmeets Work is a correlation. Yes, there we see sometimes you have a big red bar, but the correlation is near 0. So if you don't have this, you will say, oh, this big red bar, we have to do something there. Yeah. But they are just mourning about something, but it's not so important for them. And that's what other surveys didn't show. 3 messages remain: well-being is strategic, Healthmeets Work shows risk and resources, and KPIs make progress manageable. This is not soft, it is effective. So I would now like to open the floor for questions. A useful starting question is, where do you currently experience the most avoidable friction in working time, processes, or leadership?
Anybody, if you have questions, comments, feel free to ask or share. Let me ask a question first as a warm-up. In one of the case studies, I noted that the Healthmeets Work survey, kind of the final diagnosis, the key part was that to me it appeared as a cultural issue. I noted from resource egoism, they need to move to shared responsibility.
Yes.
This to me appears as a cultural issue. And just the question is, how does an organization respond to when they face this fact or when this appears? Was it easy for them to accept, or how did it happen that uh, they
Yes.
accepted, and then what action they took?
Yeah. So the leaders were mourning about that the employees didn't work together. Yes. And the leaders, they by itself, they didn't talk to another leader. Yes. And at that time, I get a project there like change management. And so I had 2 days a week where I was on there. Yes. And I invite them to have lunch together. That was very interesting. Yes. And there were 20 leaders sitting there. Okay. Mrs. Sender ordered lunch. Okay. We go to lunch. Yes. And then I start, what's your work? It's the IT person. I have this and this. And then another person said, you not only work with printers? No, we create the whole system. We are programming. It was wow, unbelievable. And they work years together. Yes. And so and I didn't make meetings because they had meetings 20 hours a week. Yes. It was just like talking, and then they figured out, okay, we didn't talk to each other. And I asked, when you don't talk to each other on the leader level, yeah, why you think your employees would talk? Yeah. And then the owner agreed that we have a one day only with the leader, a workshop, and there we talk about how it's going forward, what they want to change. We were 2-person moderating, and one coach was beside because everybody got a coaching. Yes. And then after that, we were talking with every department, with the leader. Yes, because we don't want the employee say this, the leader say that. Yes, it was a big project, but it was quite successful, and everybody was more happy. That was interesting to see.
Thank you. Okay. Questions, comments, others?
Petra, could you share about your experience when you like how to recruit the client? Because right now in Vietnam we usually use the OD map. But the health network is the I understand that the enhanced version of OD map, so that's very useful. But right now in Vietnam, so many people, many clients, they similar with the OD map. How to make them the trend from OD map to health network? Did you have
Yeah.
experience?
So in Germany we have a law that you have to measure the mental risk.
Oh,
Yes. But normally I come from the organization side, and then
yes,
I tell them, you can combine this, because if you just do this part, you will not have the whole part. Yes.
yes.
And I just tell them, it's the same money.
Mm,
I didn't tell them it's different because we have there some items more high. Yes. I
right,
tell
right,
them
right.
it's the same money.
I got it. I got it.
Yeah. We have a price per person, and then how
Yes.
many persons are there, and
Mm,
what different things they want to do, how many questions they want to add. Yeah, you still can do this. In some
right,
cases,
right,
it's
right,
really
right.
useful. Yes.
Okay, okay. With the same price.
Yes.
Yeah, right. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. And in German once I had the thing that a person said, no, we don't need it. Yes. And then the government was coming and it was really funny. Tell them, we have to do this. And then I tell, no, yeah, we can do this, but this costs more. No problem, no problem.
Hmm. I got it. I got it.
Uh,
Thank you, Petra.
Petra, I have a question.
yes.
Yes. I was wondering, when did you have to do a retest after the initial findings to see if the
Ah,
interventions made a difference?
in Germany, normally they do it with the QM reports, every 4 years, if external report, because
Okay.
it's also aligned, that I forgot to mention, it's also aligned to the 9001. They're about employees. There are many things you don't have to ask if you have health meets work. We have some companies, they say, oh, we only need now one survey. That's good. Yes, and normally there is in the law in Germany, we say if something happened and the organization things change, you have to measure it. But you have to decide, and if nobody look for, then nothing happened. So the people with quality management, they do it regularly before the external supervisors coming, because if he finds something, it will be very, very expensive. So they do it before. Yes. And if you see that the Corona phases, yes, nobody did something with mental risk assessment. Yeah, everybody was buying gloves and something for your that you can admin, yeah, and nobody asked for. No.
I see.
So if
Thank you,
I
Petra.
know the people, they have some quality management rules there, some systems, then I say, it makes sense. We do it before the external review. And then
I
you have
see.
something to show. And then that's a good experience, because people say, wow, that's great. And we get good responses after it. They tell us, wow, that's high quality.
Thank you.
So just about ODMAP, because I have experience with the ODMAP implementation in Vietnam, right? So in Vietnam, there's one client, they do ODMAP every year, right?
Yeah.
But they didn't do anything for the intervention activity, right? Because they see the ODMAP result as a guideline
Yes.
for management team to discuss about which action or which action or which plan they need to do by themselves, not by the consultant, but
Yes.
they still do every year, and they see how the changing every year about the working environment, engagement also.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
that's my experience in Vietnam, so that's interesting.
In Germany, too, there are companies that say, thank you very much. We don't need you any longer. We have our results. Yes. It depends. Yeah. Or on this other side, once we had a retest, and it was a great result, and every department telling when we are doing the workshop, and I ask which workshop? You're fine. No, we have to talk to each other. All the
Right.
the first time they were, well, the results, I don't like to look, and they sit under pressure. They think there's something wrong, but it's you have to talk in a nice manner, and they accept many things. They change many things, and then the next time they really were asking, yeah, they said,
Yeah.
why by this results? What should I do? Yeah, it was funny.
Petra, have you had the chance to combine Health Meets Work with any of the other OD tools like MQ or the Trait Map?
Yes, MQ, Trade Map, And once we had, after we had a 360,
Okay.
because it was really, we could see there was a problem at the leadership. Yes. And so then they agree, okay, now we make a 360 program, and then every leader get a personal talk about the results, and then we had every leader with his employees, we had a workshop after.
I see. I see.
Yeah.
And it's okay for them to disagree with the results. If, for example, they don't agree that this is the reality, it's acceptable.
Yeah, sure, it's acceptable. Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
A final chance for one more question or comment, if somebody has.
Job, I do ODMap and MQ at the same time for that company,
I see.
right?
ODMAP
So
and
every year, because they just do the ODMap and MQ at the same time every year, right? So they combine and they guide the manager how to interact with the employee, right? They do need any intervention. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thanks for the questions and interactions. And because of time, we are closing now the Q&A. And
Right.
I also would like to add remarks from using ODMAP, which is the organizational effectiveness without the health. But I think it will apply, this experience will apply to health meets work even more. So the question is why to make this survey, or how to sell this survey, how to convince the organization that they need this survey. Is very often people go to seminars to hear what drives engagement, or the engagement reports for Vietnam, or for Asia, or for global or US. Or, for example, somebody makes a presentation and reveals that in the study that they've done somewhere, what is correlating with what. So, for example, here, what is correlating with mental health? And I think this is a large data set, and these are the correlations, and people find this is very useful. However, these are all generic data from many organizations. And in your organization, the situation might be different. And without measuring it, you just don't know. There is no way that you know. And when you have such a broad scope survey as Health Meets Work, then you can find some golden nuggets. For example, you will know exactly what relates, what is driving mental health in your organization. And you cannot learn it in any seminar or from any book.
Yeah. It's maybe an example. If you have a survey in a health organization, yes, then you expect that the elderly people have more physical things, yes. And we figured out that on departments where the leader tell, easy going, okay, we just can work, the elderly people are very healthy. In another department where the leader is, oh, we have to do this, oh, we have to do this, oh, we don't, oh, yes, there were young people, and they all crossed, I have neck problems, I have brain problems. Really, it was so great. Sure, it was, the data said there were not enough to make a correlation. But when you talk in a workshop, yes, it was incredible. And we don't have diagnosis. Yeah, we just ask if you less or more things like this and this, and the people can add something. And if this is bigger, if you have more physical things, yes, then it's a sign that there is mentally something wrong. Yes, that's the first sign. I know this from science, yes, and from Health Meets Work, sure. And it was so incredible. I tell the higher leader, this leader on this department is really toxic for the people, because they are young people and they have more illnesses and they are more ill, yes, than the other. They are almost all over 55. And they say, no problem, we will rock it. It was incredible. Yes. And this will see on ODMAP. So you can go deeper. Yes. And if you make 1 year and said, the prices arises, so we have to arise the price for ODMAP too. But by the way, there's another thing now. Maybe possible.
Yeah, thank you very much. And this story also reminds me of our previous webinar, which was about EQ, emotional intelligence. The presenter, Max, Dr. Poltroni, said that the leader's emotion becomes the organization's emotion.
Yes.
And what you are saying is so much
Yes.
underlying that point, that the leader's kind of health attitude becomes the organization's health attitude. And with that, time is up. So thank you very much, Petra, for the presentation. And thank you, everybody, for the interaction and being here and listening. And we are closing, as our now tradition, by a premiere of a song which nobody has seen before, which is written to capture, to summarize the product, this product, Health Meets Work. So, Ildiko, please play the Health Meets Work song.
Okay, here you are.
When the workflow stalls and the stress begins to peak and your productivity is looking kind of weak, don't just look at numbers, look at the human soul, because employee well-being plays the leading role. Enter Health Meets Work, a diagnostic blend, building healthy organizations that your teams can recommend, preventing mental risks with a scientific base, putting a smile on the staff and a win in the race. Step into the future where the data meets the soul. Health Meets Work takes a diagnostic control, a comprehensive survey, a modern day guide with ISO 17075 standard standing by its side. 86 items to measure the weight of the mental health risks and your company state. It's a healthy organization for healthy people too, connecting your performance to the wellness of the crew. From engagement to profits, the link is crystal clear. When you optimize the culture, success is always near. It's a systemic shift, not just a class on a mat. Healthy people, healthy business, remember that. We look at 3 indices to see how you thrive. The engaging organization keeps the spirit alive. Management and leadership, trust in the lead, giving every worker the support that they need. Then the health factors index measures stressors in the pay, keeping work sustainable every single day. The science is proven, the evidence is strong. Happier workers perform all day long. Higher profit margins and a better ROA, even beating the stock market, so the papers say. It's not just a perk or a yoga class mat, it's systemic improvement. Remember that. It's a healthy organization for healthy people too, connecting your performance to the wellness of the crew. From engagement to profits, the link is crystal clear. When you optimize the culture, success is always near. It's a systemic shift, not just a class on a mat. Healthy people, healthy business, remember that. In just 10 to 15 minutes on a mobile or a screen, you'll see the precise drivers that were once left unseen. The job satisfaction index gives the summary score, telling management exactly what the staff is looking for. From physical stressors to mental health status, we bridge the performance and well-being hiatus. So diagnose the weakness and build a stronger base. Put the health meets work model in its rightful place for a thriving business where the people come first, quenching the organizational and human thirst. It's a systemic shift, not just a class on a mat. Healthy people, healthy business, remember that.
Yeah, so thank you very much for being us today. And I'm really thankful for our experts sharing your knowledge and also for your questions and the nice conversation we had afterwards. I really take away a lot of messages. So thank you for sharing all the information about this great tool. Thank you very much for coming today and see you next time.
See you.
Well
Bye.
done. Thank you.